Next up on track is the junior class, and we've got a bit of a McLaren Honda tribute band in force out on the circuit in Scott Huntley. Scott, you have a bit of a reputation of branding your karts in McLaren colours. This is a very special one this time.
Yeah, this is representing Senna's 30th year anniversary with signing with McLaren.
Which is going to be a bit later on this month, and you obviously, I mean, the way that you dress and the way that you present your car, you are obviously a massive, massive Senna and McLaren fan.
Yeah, that's right.
So maybe one day, you know, the way things are currently going, your stock is very much growing in the Junior Championship. We may well see you driving a McLaren in racing cars one day.
Yeah, that is the goal. So.
Excellent. So talk us through the Buckmore Park circuit. It's a very tough track, and how have you been finding it so far?
Yeah, it's a technical track, but I think I'm quite good at technical tracks, so hopefully I should do well.
And it's incredibly close in practice, so do you reckon that there's a good chance of a top step of the podium this time out?
Yeah, I think it should be anyone's game, to be honest, because the times are so close.
Excellent. Okay, well, hopefully there's going to be a strong start to qualifying, and we'll hopefully see you out there.
Yeah, hopefully. Thanks.
12 months ago, when the birelART UK Series paddock was last at Buckmore Park, it was this lady here, Sky Siddle, who was on the top step of the podium in the final. Sky, you really seem to get a groove in around this place.
Yeah, I think it was because, well, it was my second time here, and I learnt the track. And then I was quick through the hairpins and things, so hopefully it can go the same again this year.
And this is a really difficult track to be good at as well. You have to be very, very physical and very patient, and you have to know exactly where to be on the power.
Yeah, definitely, especially through the hairpins. If you get them right, then you've got the whole straight right as you're coming down the hill. And then obviously the corners at the top, if you get them right too, then you've got the full power as well. All right, back to the finish line, so it's quite a technical track.
And last year you beat Sam Faulkner in a straight fight. This year you're up against Ty Stansfield, the leader of the championship, to try and get another victory in the bag. Do you think it's doable?
Yeah, I think it's doable, but obviously it's going to take time to try and find the setup and things like that, because we didn't have a good day yesterday, but hopefully today will be better.
Okay, well, we look forward to seeing what you can do out there at Buckmore Park 12 months on from your first victory in the birelART UK Series finals, so good luck.
Thank you.
And we have another rookie sensation making his debut this weekend. Behind Goodman and Taylor on the front row, and alongside Harry Barlow is Callum Gunning, P4. Graham and Massarella on the third row, with Huntley, Baldry, Martin and Parkinson rounding out the top 10. Keep an eye on Sky Siddle, won here 12 months ago, will be wanting to finish higher than 18th. And as we get going, the other man to keep an eye on is Tyrone Stansfield, championship leader, who starts P14. He will want to charge his way through. It's Goodman who leads in the early stages from Barlow and Taylor. Gunning is going to lose the place to Graham, who comes up on the inside. Harry Graham goes on the inside. No, you don't. Callum Gunning gets on the inside, and Will Martin gets through as well. And we got two carts off in the background. Baldry and Brown have come together there by the look of it, and it looked to me as though Tyrone Stansfield had to take avoiding action round the outside. So he's dropped to the back of the field pretty much. There's only about two carts behind him. Goodness me, Tyrone Stansfield's championship lead is going to take a major pummeling here, with Harry Barlow having had a strong weekend so far. He was fastest in qualifying over Toby Goodman by 0.004 of a second. But now he's going to have to battle him in a straight fight to win the race, as Martin makes the move on Callum Gunning and gets into P4 behind Nicky Taylor. Now, I was talking to Nicky earlier. He really wants his first win in the birelART UK Series Junior final. He hasn't won a race so far. He's come so close so many times. He's there in third position. He's got a magnificent chance here at Buckmore Park. So let's see as the drivers drop down the hill. They all work together in unison at the front end of the field. Morgan Cole right in the midfield, again having a frustrating meeting. Dylan Reed has had an absolutely brilliant run so far. So has that man, Sam Cunliffe. He was actually in the top 6 in qualifying, which is about 6 places higher than his best. So Sam Cunliffe has been really going well. The problem is he got himself into a little incident with another couple of drivers in the pre-final, and that's what knocked them out of the top 10. So watch Cunliffe. He will be charging his way back through on what has been, all in all, a pretty positive meeting from his point of view. He's had good pace. Now Will Martin in 4th position. He's had another good one. Now there's a penalty going out, just saw on the digiboard, and it is the 65. That's Zach Parkinson, who was involved in the mother of all accidents earlier on. Stansfield down to 15th position. You just saw the graphic before, as Martin and Gunning bang wheels nearly as they come up towards Garda. They just about sort that out, but Martin and Gunning have now dropped back a little bit off the top 3. So as far as Will Martin is concerned, he's got some work to do to catch up with our race leader. Toby Goodman is actually racing for a sale this weekend. This is his last round in the championship in 2017, and they're desperately trying to get that kart sold. So what better way of doing so than getting a hat-trick of victories? He's won the heat, he's won the pre-final. Well, how about this? I've just won 3 races in this car. It's a race winner, and potentially, for the right buyer, a championship winner. Get onto the website, easykart.co.uk. You could be driving the kart that's currently leading this race. So there's Barlow in front of Taylor, Martin. Look at the squabble further back as Morgan Cole, Dylan Reed et al. all have a magnificent battle in behind there. Now Reed's going to go up the inside of Cole. Oh, he switched away at just the wrong moment. Dylan Reed dicing up the inside. He's still there on the inside of Morgan Cole. Just trying to look back a little bit further. Now Will Martin, now he's been given a warning at the starting line. Now several drivers have come a cropper with this today. They've jumped the starts a little bit. Now look, there's the black and white flag. You can just see it on the digiboard at the start line. Will Martin, I think, has been given a warning for jumping the start. Now, it's very easy to do that here at Buckmore Park because you've obviously got to try and get yourself into a good position for the first corner. It's very easy to lose momentum if you're just a little bit off the line. And several drivers have ended up causing themselves penalties as a result of it. Strict penalties being enforced this weekend for drivers falling foul of the regulations. But to be fair, every driver has taken that on board and gone, okay, I'll just race a little bit steadier, and they all have. There's not been too much argy-bargy this weekend. The driving standards have been pretty high, and the quality of the racing has been pretty exceptional, and you have to take that into context. This is Buckmore Park, the roughest, toughest, hardest circuit on the calendar, and these guys are just taking it in their stride. It's so physical. I actually went out in one of the Masters karts in yesterday's practice session. Ken Churchill loaned me one. It's so incredibly physical, this circuit. It really feels like you're being punched in the back every time you go through an apex. It's so difficult. But Goodman leads it. Second is your number 4 of Barlow. Third is Taylor. Martin in 4th position in front of the new boy, Callum Gunning. Up in the top 6 in his first meeting. I tell you what, this kid's got something special. Harry Graham, Scott Huntley, Tom Massarella, another driver who's struggled for pace all weekend, and the leading rookie, Oliver Moy. He's really turned a corner this weekend. Moy has been particularly strong. He was fighting in the lower end of the top 6 in qualifying earlier this morning. He's got some very good speed around here. He just seems to be the taller drivers I tend to find in this category seem to be the ones with a lot more composure because you've got a little bit more physicality that you can run through your body in the car. This place is so tough and it's very brutal. You tend to find the taller drivers are the ones who gain the most momentum, which is why the people like Goodman, Barlow and Will Martin, they are doing so well this time out, which is why it's particularly impressive that Nicky Taylor is right up there in the 3rd position. He is not one of the taller drivers in the championship, but he just seems to take everything in his stride. And there in 3rd position, he's doing an absolutely cracking job. Meanwhile, Callum Gunning, well, he's very nearly cadet-sized, is Callum Gunning. So how he's doing as well as he's done in his first meeting in a junior. Don't forget, these karts are 100cc, incredibly fast, very powerful. And he's absolutely monstering it. He's in 5th position in front of people like Graham, Huntley and Massarella. Absolutely amazing work. 2 of those, by the way, let's not forget, have won a final this year, or at least won a race at least. Huntley won the pre-final in the wet at Wilton Mill, and Massarella got a victory later in the season. Harry Graham is still looking for that elusive first win in 2017. But the 5th seed, currently running in, let me just count through the list, 6th position. They go through so quickly. And Harry Graham is still looking for that first victory. He's not far away from it. He's only a couple of seconds down the road from Toby Goodman, such is how close this championship is. But we were looking through the times in qualifying. I just want to make a point of this. I know we're in the heat of the race, but qualifying is so close in juniors this year, and here at Buckmore Park was no exception. From 1st down to 15th, the entire field was covered by less than half a second. Can I just say that again? 15 karts, less than half a second in qualifying. You can't tell me that this is not one of the most competitive championships in British karting. Will Martin hanging on to 4th position there in front of Callum Gunning and Harry Graham. They go out of Garda, dropping down the crest, through the left-hander, up the hill, still flat on the throttle. You carry the speed from out of the right-hander at Garda. You keep flat on the throttle all the way to here. Then you blip the brake, then get straight back on the power. The momentum shift of the kart carries you through those first 2 corners, then into the hairpin. That's your biggest braking point on the circuit. Into the hairpin again. Goodman Barlow, Taylor, Martin, Gunning, Graham, Huntley there in 7th place. Magnificent side view there from the static cam through the S's. It shows you the real physicality these guys are pushing in, over the bumps, down through the drops, and up towards Garner. Barlow just checking over his shot. Oh, contact! That's Brown and Baldry again! That's the 2nd time in this race, and Brown shakes his fist at Toby Baldry. Come on, mate, what are you playing at? Meanwhile, Dylan Reed has got a move on the inside of Morgan Cole, and the next man in the queue is Tyrone Stansfield. Stansfield must feel he's in a different class of karting, because he's normally the dominant man in the class. He's right the way down the order, fighting his way even to struggle with a top 10 finish, Tyrone Stansfield. He's in 12th at the moment. This is not the Tyrone Stansfield we're used to in 2017. And this is advantage Barlow. Even if he stays in 2nd behind Goodman, he will absolutely hammer blow that championship lead of Tyrone Stansfield, because of course Stansfield retired from the final back at Shennington the 2nd round. Our cameras weren't out for that, but he sheared the rear axle going into the stub axle broke going into the Bruno Ferrari chicane while he was leading. Now he's got to count that final, because you drop your worst score in a heat, a pre-final and a final through the course of the season. If Stansfield finishes down in 10th, 11th or 12th, he's got to count this score to the championship. So this is a major blow in Tyrone Stansfield's bid to win the junior championship. Now who's that with a warning there? That looked like the 100 of Tom Davison, another man who's had a miserable weekend for luck. He's had so much misfortune in 2017. He loves to hang around on the UK Dirt online sim racing, oval racing community with Harry Graham. They tend to muck about online with Brisker F2 virtual stock cars. You've got to be a lot more articulate to race these though. It's a non-contact formula, of course. But these 3 out in front are starting to push away. Goodman, Barlow and Nicky Taylor. I just sense that Nicky Taylor has got this dicey move in him to go for Harry Barlow. Barlow will be thinking about the championship fight, but he was so elated this morning with that pole position. He had yet to start from the front of a grid in qualifying. He had not been the fastest man in qualifying all season, and then he got his pole position this morning by 0.04 of a second over Goodman. I cannot tell you how elated he was. No other driver, by getting pole position, was punching the air with joy quite so much as Barlow. He was so elated, especially when, you know, 15 karts are separated by half a second. Pole position is such an important one here. And that's contact again. Is that Brown and Baldry for the 3rd time? That is absolutely unbelievable. Those two just cannot stay away from each other. Yellow flags going up to the S's. And again, Brown and Baldry, well, they're going to be sick of the sight of each other by the end of this meeting, I tell you. And they're both absolutely... well, their races are ruined. They've been lapped by the leaders. That doesn't happen very often in juniors. Martin actually ran wide there on the way through the right-hander, giving Callum Gunning another crack at him. But yet again, Toby Baldry and Connor Brown, we know how talented those guys are. Baldry actually looked like in qualifying this morning he was going to have a really strong weekend. He was in the top 6 in qualifying, which again, that just shows you how close it is. He really deserved his place, but he's been in misfortune in the heats in the pre-final, and here, well, I have a feeling that the next big boxing match you're going to see on Sky Sports in the future is going to be between Connor Brown and Toby Baldry. They've come together 3 times in this one race. I tell you what, forget McGregor and Mayweather. These guys are going to be the next big draw. Anyway, look, Gunning is through to 4th. Callum Gunning, on his debut in the birelART UK Junior 100cc class, is ahead of race winners such as Will Martin, Scott Huntley and Tom Massaralla. What a debut this is from Gunning. Truly sensational. The plucky youngster, he barely looks fresh out of cadets, and he's running ahead of guys. Martin throws it up the inside. Don't you dare. This is my 4th position as he goes down to the hairpin, bouncing around in the car like a bucking bronco. Very small, nimble driver, Callum Gunning, but he seems to have taken to these cars like a duck to water, and clearly he likes the setup a little bit leery because the kart is a little sideways in places, but he seems to grab the oversteer and just run with it. He's really, really astute little driver, is Callum Gunning. I don't think we've heard the last of him in this championship. Oh, Guardside. Guardside's gone into the barrier there at the 2nd hairpin. 2 minutes 24 on the clock, and Guardside will not see the finish by the look of it. That's a shame. So Harry Barlow still trying to close up on Goodman. Taylor in there as well. Yellow flags, of course. They will not be able to overtake at this part of the circuit as Martin closes up on Callum Gunning. To try and get himself back in a 4th position, he'll have to go for the overtaking move after the S's. So the drivers will now drop down the hill. Is Martin going to get an opportunity to go for Callum Gunning at the bottom half of the circuit? Nicky Taylor still trying to close in there on Barlow. Red flags. Red flags. Obviously, Gartside in some discomfort there at the second hairpin. Oh, dear. That looks worse than it is, though, folks. He'll just be a little bit winded. But the fact that he's up on his feet is a very good sign. But the race is declared. 2 minutes to go. They won't restart that. So Goodman is your race winner from Barlow in second. Crucial championship points made up there for Barlow. And third position, Nicky Taylor in front of the rookie, Callum Gunning. But as this is his first weekend, the leading rookie in terms of the championship is Oliver Moy. And he's just in front of Tyrone Stansfield, who recovers to 10th. But that's still cut his championship lead in half.
Toby Goodman, it was never easy to win 3 races in a row, but you managed to make it stick, and what a fantastic display.
Yeah, I mean, I woke up this morning and I've never finished 3 races at Buckmore, so I said if I can finish 3 races or if I can get a win, then I'll be happy. But to be able to get 3 wins today, I never even dreamt of that. So, I mean, I'm absolutely ecstatic to be able to do so. Harry was on my back for most of the day, so it's a really good racing by him. And unlucky about the red flag in the final. Hopefully everyone's all right. It's never nice to see a crash, so yeah.
And it's a shame we won't see you out at Shennington next time, but you've proved what you could do today.
Hopefully, yeah. But, I mean, I would like to be at Shennington, but unfortunately we sold the cart, so I can't. So, yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll see you again in 2018. Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
So as Goodman bows out with a triple win, Stansfield's lead over Barlow is just 13 points with 2 rounds to go. Massarella third from Nicky Taylor, Harry Graham and Scott Huntley. But the title fight is going to be a big one.